Today I have started this session in order to help you guys with three things. So I have got multiple um, requests and questions regarding how to file income tax returns, how to file declaration in our APD website. So I take this opportunity to show you guys how to fill all those things. Right? It's an easy method, right? So the first one, a very important one, is Form 16. So you guys would have received a mail with the subject line Form 16 FY 22-23. So every year after the financial year end, that is the last year which happened was till March 31st, right? So whatever tax was deducted in your salary, so that would be paid to the income tax department, and DXC would be giving a Form 16 after the approval from income tax department. So what we need to do is, after receiving this Form 16, we need to upload those data, that is what is the tax you have paid, what is the income you have received from DXC. So you have to update those in the income tax website. So once you update the details in the income tax website with the details which is provided in the form 16, and also if you receive any other income apart from what it is told in the form 16, you have to upload those. In case, if for example, if you are earning house rent, so from your home, right, so you can add. So with those, the tax would be calculated. Mostly we would be submitting the details which is in the form 16, and if there was an excess tax paid by us, government would be paying the excess amount back to our account. In case if we have not paid the actual amount which need to be paid for that financial year, we need to be paying those amount, right? So only after that you would be getting an acknowledgement. So this acknowledgement is very important. So every year when you submit your IT returns, you will be getting an acknowledgement which is useful in many ways. For example, if you are applying for a foreign visa, or if you are applying for a loan, right? So one of the proof which they require is income tax returns. So if you are applying your income tax returns on every year, this would also be a proof uh, which you can use in multiple places, right? So that is the thing. And also, if you are a salaried employee who is earning salary more than 3 lakh, it is mandatory that you have to submit income tax return. So if you're not submitting income tax returns, you would be penalized. So there will be a fine which you need to pay in case if you're not submitting income tax return if your salary is greater than 3 lakh. Okay, so coming back, so I have not opened any email because since I'm uploading this video, right? So I don't want to show any details, but this would be the subject line you would have received in your Outlook. So you need to go to the ATP website and you have to download the Form 16 and Form 12BA. So when you download this Form 16 and Form 12BA, it will look like this. So it will have the logo TDS, right? So this is tax detection data, that is Form 16. So this Form 16 will have your office address, your name, your address, your PAN card number, your office PAN card number, right? So that is DXC PAN, sorry, the company PAN card number. And you can also see that the assessment year, that is 2023 to 2024. So this is the current year Form 16 which we would be receiving. So we have to also submit IT returns for the assessment year 2023 and 2024. So if you have not submitted any returns previously, it's okay. Uh, because if you're doing it this year, you can start with 2023 and 2024. So there is also an option where you can upload the previous year's Form 16, but I think it may allow you with some uh, an amount. So you need to pay some amount so that you can also upload the previous year's ID returns. So let's go with this current year. So here you can see that this Form 16 will have 4 pages. It will initially show you how much amount was paid a tax from our organization. It will have the challan number and every details. So when you scroll down to the second page, it will show you when the amount was paid and from which bank it was paid. So when you scroll down further, the third page will have your salary information. For example, so it will have salary as per section 17(1). So this would be the complete salary which you would have received from April 1st, 2022 to March 31st, 2023. So then it will have some detection. For example, if you have applied for 12BA or 12 or anything related to like for example, if you have applied anything additional, like you got house rent from someone, like your own property. So if you're adding those, it will also get added and you will have a total earning as on the D column. Okay, so then So you will have a lot of other columns. For example, if you would have submitted this options, for example, um, house rent allowance. So mostly we would have given it house rent bills last year, right? So those amount will be reflecting here. For example, if you have given 5,000 per month, right? And if it is for 12 months, so that amount would be here. Coming to the next page, here it will show you total amount of any other exemption. For example, if you have shown any other exception apart from HRA, for example, like LIC policy, right? So that will be showing here after the deduction. For example, LIC policy, house rent, and all those things. You would get a number here, amount that is given here. So after deduction, it will show an amount. Then again, if you have applied for other deductions like 16A, 16.3, right? So all those would be given here. For most of them, it would be zero. So in case if it is zero, no issues. But if you have applied for any other deduction, it will show you those numbers, and at the end, it will be deducted, and it will give you a final amount. So after this final amount, right, income tax would be shown here. So how much salary for which the income tax would be deducted. So hope you guys know that tax deduction tax rate. So hope you guys know what is old regime and new regime, right? Most of you would have selected old regime. So if you would have selected new regime, so automatically the tax would have been deducted. There would be no HRA and other deductions which you would have shown. But in case if you have selected old regime, so you should submit HRA and other things, right? So here they have given the slab. So I'm not sure if this is the exact one. So here it says up to 5 lakhs, there is no tax in income for both. From 5 to 10 lakhs, it would be 20%. And for a new tax regime, it would be 5%. And if it is 10 lakh and above, so it would be 30%. And for new regime, it would be 10% and above. So this is what they have given. So like that. So what happens is, for example, if your salary is, let's say, 6 lakhs, and you would have shown a HRA of 1 lakh 20,000, right? So this 1 lakh 20,000 will get deducted from this total salary, right? For example, 1 lakh 20,000. So after deducting the HRA, your total earning will be showing as 4 lakh 80,000. So for 4 lakh 80,000, there will be no tax, because as I said here, up to 5 lakh, there is no tax, right? So that is why we share all those exception, so that after deduction of all those HRA and other LIC policy or mediclaim, right? The net chargeable taxable income would be less. For example, if your, as I said, your actual salary is 6, and after deducting 1 lakh 20,000, your total salary would be 4 lakh 80,000, where the total tax would be zero, right? So like that, the tax would be calculated, and here it will show gross income. So that is what, after deduction, it will show the gross income. From here, it will show how much tax you need to pay, right? So at the end, if you see, you will have a place where it will say net tax payable. So here it will show, in case if you need to pay 1,000 or 2,000 or 15,000 or 30,000, depending on your salary, right? So all those numbers, right, so are available in form 16. So this number has to be updated in the income tax website. So you can ask, like, for example, this TDS file is being given by Government of India, right? So why they are asking us to submit IT returns, right? So this form 16 is for the salary which you are receiving from DXC. So government knows that you work for DXC and you are getting this salary, and for this salary, DXC is deducting your tax, right? So government knows, and they have provided this form 16. But there are people who also earn additionally, right? For example, if you have a home where you receive rent, right? For example, you have a house property where you receive a rent, so that also need to be added in this income tax e-returns filling, so that you can pay the tax for those amount, right? Because you would be giving a tax receipt for the people who rent your home, right? So all those things have to be included in your tax returns too. And there is a possibility that you have paid all this tax to our organization, like our organization has deducted all your tax, but before March 31st, you had some medical issues, or your family had some medical issues where you have some bills which you can upload in the income tax website to ask for returns. For example, if you have paid, for example, let's say your salary is 6 lakh, right? For 6 lakh, they would have deducted, let's say 10,000 in your salary, right? So in case uh, if you have a bill where you can submit, right, this amount will be refunded to your account. So all those things can happen if you properly submit your income tax returns. Clear? So so the first thing which we need to do is, so download the form 16 from your APT portal. Once you have this file, go to Google. So type income tax e-filling. So if you type income tax e-filling, you can see that the first option which shows us income tax homepage, right? So when you need to click on that. So here you can see that it has a lot of options, right? So let me check if I have the login options or not there. So I need to click on this income tax returns ID. So if you click on that, you will see this page, right? Again, if you see at the top, you will see a login icon. So you need to click on this, and you will have two options. One is register and one is login. So if you are a new user, a new hire, or if you have not updated your ID returns till date, so obviously you will not have an account in this income tax website. So if you are a first time user, you need to click on register. So when you click on register, so you can see that it gives a login page where it says taxpayer or others. So we are a taxpayer. So you need to click on taxpayer, and you need to enter your PAN card number, like AIE. So whatever PAN card number you have in your name, you have to enter that number, and you need to click on validate. So if you validate, so if your account is already registered, it will say that this user is already registered. So if you are a new user, so when you click on validate, it will ask you to click on continue, where it will ask you for the first name, last name, date of birth, and other details, right? So you need to update the correct first name, last name as per the PAN card, right? So there will be like first name, middle name, last name. So you need to make sure that you put important. So make sure to do this by this month. That is income tax filling, so that you guys are not penalized by the government. So I hope that this call was helpful. So in case any queries, doubt, you guys can always reach me. Thanks, guys. Okay. So here, when I type my PAN card number, it says please log in with a secure message. Yes. Then you need to enter your password. Click continue. So when you click on continue, it will take you to the home page where you will have all your details on the left side. So mostly your details would be available if you have already logged in, if you are a user who has submitted ID returns earlier. But in case if you are a new user, you need to make sure that you are updating your contact details, bank account. You need to make sure that your Aadhaar card is attached. So if these options are not updated, you will not be able to get the returns. So the name itself says IT returns, right? Why? Because if you have paid excess, if you're providing the bills properly, your tax would be returned to your bank account, right? So that is why they said IT returns. So make sure that you have all your details updated here. If not, please update this first and then go to the next step. So the next step would be to file the IT returns year ended on 31st of March, right? So you guys know that our financial year is from April 1st to March 31. So this is for the last year. So that is called assessment 2023 to 2024. So if you go to your form 16, you can see that it also has the assessment year as, as 2023 to 2024. So you need to click on file now. So when you click on file now, it will say income tax returns ITR, right? So it will ask you select the assessment year. So as I said, you have an option to select the assessment year from 2019, right? But as I said, if you are updating your form 16 for previous year, you may need to pay some amount. But for the current year, it is free, right? So you need to select the current year because that is why we are here. So after selecting assessment year 2023, 2024 as per the form 16, you need to select how do you want to fill? Is it online or offline? So offline is like you need to download a file, you need to upload. There are a lot of steps involved in offline. So it is always recommended going online where you can easily upload all the details and you can submit, right? So select online and click continue. So whenever you go, when you click on continue online, so it will say that you have a draft or income tax, no draft. So for example, you were updating your income tax returns and suddenly your laptop turned off, right? Or you had a power issue, right? So that data would be saved as a draft. So right, for example, for me, there is no draft because this is the first time I am trying to submit for this financial year. To file a fresh income tax return, click start filling. So we are going to fill the income tax return for the first time, right? So for the current financial year. So you need to click on start new filling. Then it will ask you for which option you would like to select, like individual or HUF or others. So there are multiple things like HUF and others are for people who own a business, right? For example, if they have a shop, so they would be using those options. But for us, it is individual because we are the taxpayer. We got the form 16 for ourselves. So select individual and click on continue. So when you click on continue, so it will ask you uh, select the ITR form, right? So if you see this drop down, you see multiple ITR form, ITR 1, ITR 2, ITR 3, right? So no need to get confused. So we work in IT organization and it is always ITR 1 for us. So select ITR 1. So it will give you some updates. For example, 50 lakhs income salary on a property. So you have agriculture income, right? So all those things would be given here. So just select ITR 1 and click on proceed with ITR 1. So when you click on that, it will give you this option. That is, what are the steps? First, you need to validate your returns. So as I said, this form 16 is given by tax department, right? So they know our details. So when you click on get started, automatically all these details would be auto filled in the website, right? For few it may not, because they are doing it for the first time. But if you're doing it for the second time, or you're a regular person who is submitting IT returns, it will give you the pre-filled breakups. For example, all these details would be pre-filled. You need to just check if it is correct or if any modification required. For example, sometimes there may be some differences of 10 or 20,000. For example, some insurance may have not been added, so you can add, right? So it will give you a pre-filled breakups. You need to confirm each and every option, then you need to submit, right? So you need to click on get started. So when you click get started, it will ask you, please answer the following questions. Are you filling this income tax return for any of the following reasons? Continue. So now you can see that I get a message. We have pre-filled your return based on information available in the income tax department. Please confirm that the details in each selections are correct to proceed. So you need to click OK. So as I said, you can see the steps which you need to do. So for each and every option, first you need to validate the returns. As I said, first the personal information, if your Aadhaar card, PAN card, your address, bank details are correct. Once you have validated, you go to the numbers. For example, you need to check if this number is matching the number in the income tax website. After doing all those things, you need to verify and submit. While submitting, it will ask you two options. How do you want to submit? So it will ask you, do you want to verify with Aadhaar card, right? So always select verify with Aadhaar card, where it will send you an OTP to your registered mobile, your Aadhaar, where you have updated your Aadhaar, right? So every Aadhaar will have a registered phone number, so it will send a OTP to that. You need to enter that OTP to verify and submit. So once you submit, the income tax return will go for validation. It will take 2 to 3 weeks. So after validation, they will say it is confirmed. For example, if you see income tax return, so there is an option called e-fill income tax return. So here you see all those options, right? View filled returns. So if I go to filled returns, you can see that I have 9 filling till dates. So for every year, for example, 2023, I have this download form receipt, right? 2021, 2020, right? So for every financial year, I have this returns filled, and you can see what is the status. So I submitted it and successfully verified, that is Aadhaar. Then it was pending for verification. Then ITR was approved. So it need to go through all this process. So you can see that I updated on July last year, July 18, and it got validated. It says that it is validated on the same date, but normally it will not have this selection option. So you need to make sure that all this check mark are there after 1 or 2 weeks. If this check mark is not done, or sometimes what the tax department will do is they will send the e-returns back. That is, whatever you have submitted, they will send this for a recheck. For example, if you have done any transaction, for example, you would have received 2 lakh, you would have sent 2 lakh to someone, right? So if there was any money transaction in your account which was very high, so I'm not saying for 2 lakh, but if there was any money transaction which was high, so normally IT team would be sending this back for asking you the reason. You can just mention the reason that it was my savings, or I got it from my friend, right? And then you can resubmit, where uh, you would be like this will get submitted again. So this is the process. So in case if you guys have difficulties in verifying or updating the returns, so you guys can ping me, right? or call me so that I can help you guys. But normally you guys can just copy the same numbers which is given in your form 16 to this IT returns file. So once it is done, you can this IT return will be available under e-file, income tax returns, and view file returns. So if you come here, you can see all these details. Okay, so this is regarding updating your form 16 in income tax website, right? So the second one is regarding um, investment declaration. So as I said, uh, every financial year starts from April 1st. For example, the current financial year is April 1st, 2023 to March 31st, 2024, right? So till March 2024, already from April to July, right? 3 months is over, right? So the remaining 9 months, that is from now to March, you would have some investment in the sense you would have thought of investing your money in LIC policy, or you would have thought of investing it in the in any fixed deposit which is more than 5 years, right? So all those comes under investment declaration. So declaration in the sense you're declaring. So there will be two things. One is investment declaration and investment submission. So there are two different things. One is investment declaration and one is investment submission. So every quarter, for example, every 3 months, this declaration window will open in your ESS portal. For example, April 1st, we had this investment declaration open. After that, you would not be able to declare any investment. Again, now on the month of July, this declaration is open. So declare in the sense you are declaring that you would be investing something till March 31st. So why we need to declare to our organization is because so that they can stop deducting tax from your salary. For example, as I said, you if you earn 6 lakh, right? So the company knows that for 6 lakh it is 20% or 10%, right, which you need to pay as a tax. So what they will do is straight away they will deduct the 20, that is for example, if 20% is 15,000 or 30,000, so they will divide it as 12 months and they will start deducting your tax from April 1st. So in order to stop our organization to deduct tax, because you have some investment which you would be doing. For example, you have a HRA, like you are paying a rent which you would like to claim, right? For example, you are paying 5,000 per month, right? So that can be updated as a declaration. If you have a fixed deposit, mostly it should be greater than 5 years. If it needs to be, like, if you want to a tax exception, so that you can, for example, you have invested 10,000 for fixed deposit, and if you have a LIC policy, for example, you are paying 500 per month, right? So 500 in the sense it would be for a year, so it would be 6,000, right? So you can mention 6,000. So like that, if you have any investment, this is the opportunity you have to go and declare those in the ESS portal. So this ESS portal would be open for declaration till July 15th. So we have 10 days. So you guys can go and upload your investment declaration. So if you have, for example, like HRA, fixed deposit, LIC, there are a lot of other options available. For example, child education. So if you're paying a tuition fees, you can include those. If you have, if your parents are senior citizen, and if they are added as a dependent in Workday, you can also add their medical expenses. For example, 50,000 or 1 lakh, because if they are going, if they are due for any surgery, so all those can be declared so that from this amount, this amount will be deducted. Let's say if they are deducting 20,000 from this 6 lakh, right? So automatically your so HRA 5,000 into 12, so not 5,000. So let's say 5,000 into 12, it would be 60,000, right? This is 10 and this is 6. So totally 76. So if you are deducting 76,000 from this, right? So your salary is 5,24,000. So again, if you are giving any other deduction, for example, if you have a meal coupon, so we will come to meal coupon later. Uh, that is 1,200 per month. So it would be 1,200 into 12, 14,4. Then if you have, uh, let's say if you have any other investment, for example, you have a post office savings. that is PPF account. You are investing 12,000 per month. So all these are the amount which can be detected. For example, 60,000 plus 10 plus 6 plus 14 400 plus 12,000. So 1 lakh 2,400 can be deducted from this 6 lakh, so that your salary would be less than 5, right? So there will be no tax for your salary. So that is why we need to do this investment declaration. So make sure that you go to ESS portal. There is a step-by-step option available where you can go and submit, right? So they have mentioned that if the employee is below 4.5, for it is not applicable. So for example, because since 5 lakh there is no tax, but it is always good to go and declare something, right? Because we also earn night shift allowance, right? So that will also be a taxable. So night shift allowance is a taxable amount. So always go and submit declaration. So once this investment declaration is done, there is also something called flexi salary component, right? So flexi salary is nothing but in your salary you can opt for meal coupon, you can opt for HRA, right? So you need to select those in the flexi salary component that will get added in the declaration window. So both are available in the ESS portal on the left side. So make sure to update those before 15th of July. So if you have any doubt, you guys can ping me, right? But it is easy, where you can go and just click and do the steps uh, by following the instruction given in the window.